Imagine a world where two of the most populous and powerful countries, India and China, unite to form a single nation. This isn't just a geopolitical fantasy, it's a scenario that would completely reshape the world as we know it. But what would that look like? From culture and language to economics and military power, let's explore the profound implications of an India-China superstate. First, let's consider the geopolitical landscape. Together, India and China would command nearly 40% of the world's population, instantly becoming the most powerful nation on Earth. The balance of power would shift dramatically, challenging the United States, the European Union, and Russia. Existing alliances like NATO and BRICS would be thrown into turmoil as the world adjusts to this new superpower. How would the world react to such a merger? Would other countries form new alliances to counterbalance this giant, or would they try to align themselves with the new superstate? Economically, this united nation would dominate global trade, manufacturing, and technology. The combined GDP would surpass that of any other country, with industries ranging from tech giants in Bangalore and Shenzhen to vast agricultural lands and natural resources. But what currency would they use? The Chinese yuan or the Indian rupee? Perhaps a new currency altogether? The unification would create a financial system so large that it could potentially challenge the dominance of the US dollar in global markets. Would the world move towards a new global currency standard? How would this affect international trade agreements and the stock markets? Now let's talk about language. India alone has over 1,600 languages, with Hindi and English being the most widely spoken. China, on the other hand, primarily speaks Mandarin, but there are hundreds of dialects across the country. A unified language policy would be a daunting task. Would Mandarin become the official language, or would they adopt a bilingual or multilingual approach? Imagine the complexities in education, government, and day-to-day communication. How would they address linguistic diversity? Could this lead to cultural tensions, or would it create a richer, more diverse national identity? Chapter 4. Religion and philosophy. Religion would be another significant factor. India is predominantly Hindu, with large Muslim, Christian, and Sikh populations. China, meanwhile, has a mix of Buddhism, Taoism, and a growing number of Christians, with a strong influence of secularism under the communist regime. Would the two nations find a way to coexist peacefully, respecting each other's religious practices? Or could this lead to ideological conflicts, especially considering China's approach to religious freedoms? Would religious practices become more tolerant, or would there be tensions between secularism and spirituality? Chapter 5. Cultural fusion: food, art, and traditions. Culturally, the fusion would be fascinating. Indian curries blending with Chinese stir-fries, Diwali celebrated alongside Chinese New Year, and a new wave of art and cinema that draws from Bollywood and Chinese filmmaking traditions. Imagine the culinary innovation that could arise from combining the rich flavors of Indian spices with the diversity of Chinese cuisine. Art, music, and dance would also see a renaissance, with traditions from both sides influencing each other in unprecedented ways. Could this lead to a new global cultural powerhouse, or would traditional practices be at risk of dilution? Chapter 6. Ethnic and social integration. The social fabric of this new nation would be incredibly diverse. India's caste system, China's ethnic minorities, and the urban-rural divide would create a complex social structure that could either lead to greater unity or significant internal conflict. Could they find a way to integrate these diverse groups, or would old divisions lead to new social challenges? How would they address issues like inequality and access to resources? Would this new nation become a model for multiculturalism, or would it struggle with internal divisions? A unified military force would be one of the most powerful in the world, combining India's large volunteer-based army with China's technologically advanced and rapidly modernizing military. This would undoubtedly change the global security landscape. Both nations are nuclear powers. How would they manage their combined arsenal? And what would this mean for global nuclear diplomacy and treaties? Would this lead to a new arms race, or could it pave the way for global disarmament and peace? The idea of India and China becoming one nation is, for now, a purely speculative scenario, but it raises important questions about the future of our world. Could such a union bring about a new era of prosperity and peace, or would the challenges of integration be too great? What do you think? Could India and China ever come together as one? How would it change the world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the future of our world.